Hey guys, what is up? Welcome back to my latest video, and as you can see, we're up to Smokey the Bandit Part 3. That one unintentionally rhymed. And this is the one I was dreading, and again it's part of the double feature pack with packed in with the second one. Probably the only way they could actually shift some units of it. But I'll give you a bit of background. I'm going to try and fly through this video because there isn't really much to tell in this one. So it's the third part of the Smokey the Bandit franchise. Came out in 1983 as a sequel to Smokey the Bandit and Smokey the Bandit Part 2. Stars Jackie Gleason, Jerry Reed, Paul Williams, Pat McCormick, Mike Henry and Colleen Camp. And there is a cameo near the end of the original Bandit, Burt Reynolds, but I'll come to that. The budget for this movie was that of a television budget. So it had the budget of a television movie, which would have been an easy way of saying it, which was still around twice the budget used for the first part of the franchise, the original film. Many of the scenes in here are sort of rehashes of scenes from the first two, especially at the beginning. It showed you a lot of flashback sequences and stuff. The film received overwhelming negative reviews from critics and audiences alike. I'm one of them. I don't like this film at all, and the only reason I have it is, like I said, because it comes with part 2. And my theory is that's the only way they can get rid of any of the discs, because otherwise there would have been a massive warehouse full of video and DVD copies of Smokey the Bandit 3, and they would have had to torch it down to get the money back. So the plot for this one is pretty simple, pretty stupid and pretty crap. So Big Enos, again played by Pat McCormick, and Little Enos, again played by Paul Williams, turn up at Sheriff Buford T. Justice's retirement do. He's giving it up. He's all set to sail off into the sunset. They offer him a wager, $250,000 against his badge. Between him and himself, between himself and the bandit, whoever wins the race. He declines them. Taz is retired. It goes to show you a montage of clips of his retirement and how he's just hating every minute of it. So he decides, do you know what, I'll take him up on their offer. Goes to see the Burdettes, and says, I'll take you up on your offer. What's the stipulation? So the entire thing challenge relies on him going from Florida to Texas, but he has to carry this big stuffed shark, or big plastic shark, on his car at all times to advertise their fish restaurant chain that they're opening up. So he gets the shark, sets off with his son Junior. They get lost in downtown Miami, and straight away the Burdettes are doing everything they can to slow him down. They get a massive crowd of Hispanic people. I don't want to just say Mexicans because that makes it stereotyped. And I just know they're Hispanic because of the way they're talking. And then they turn up on a balcony and start throwing money at him, because they've helped to slow him down for 2 hours. They set loads of traps, but Buford manages to get through them, so they decide to hire the bandit to stop him. Now they sort of decide that the original bandit is a bit too unpredictable, so they hire Snowman to act as the bandit. So Snowman's driving down the road in his truck, gets a phone call, which is the truck from the first film, the brown one again. They got a new truck in the second film, which was a silver one, which is the one they bought with the money from the first film, I'm assuming. But he's driving a brown truck again, so don't know what happened there. Gets a phone call, turns the truck round, goes to his house, goes in, sees Fred, comes out he's grown a mustache by this point. Then he comes out in a red shirt, jeans, cowboy hat, sunglasses, and he's really excited that he's going to be the bandit. goes outside and so I'm going to be the bandit, I'm going to be the bandit, and then the next thing he sees him just take off in this black and gold 1983 Pontiac Trans Am, which I think is a similar sort of model to what they used in Knight Rider. To me, shape-wise, it looks identical to the one in Knight Rider. Probably should have done a bit of research on that, because there may be car enthusiasts watching this will be like, oh no, you're wrong, and if I'm sorry, it just looks very much the same to me. First couple of scenes you see him driving, the car seems to spend more time in the air than it actually does on the road. There's, like, in a space of 5 minutes, there's 2 scenes. It doesn't sound a lot, but when you consider that you see him drive around the corner, and then he's airborne, and then you see him driving along the road, and then he's airborne, it's it seems to spend a lot of time up in the air. So he's driving along, and it goes to this car salesman giving this speech, and he ends up putting on this woman to talk to him while he goes to jump up and down on this car to show him how solid the shock absorbers are. She ends up just basically telling people that, avoid this guy, he's rip off, he's a robber, and his cars are trash and all this sort of stuff. She's called Dusty Trails. Yeah. She's played by Colleen Camp, who, when I did I was just looking for something and I found a picture of her recently. She's totally different to how she is in this film. So anyway, she ends up flagging down Bandit, and yes, I'm going to use those every time I use the word Bandit, because it's not the Bandit. So she ends up jumping in with Bandit, and they go off and catch up with Buford and steal the fish. So obviously Buford sets off chasing Bandit, and that's it. And there's another local officer gets involved and tries to help, but ends up making things worse as they end up trying to catch Bandit. I know that's going to get really annoying. It's going to annoy me doing it, but I'm sorry, it's not the real one. Both police cars end up crashed. Anyway, further down the line, Dusty and Bandit stop at a bar to eat. Buford catches up, and then the ensuing car chase creates mass chaos in his local town. Bandit manages to escape when an 18-wheeler blocks the alleyway where he ran through on foot, and while trying to get the truck out, help him reverse out, Buford's car is being towed, but it argues with the policewoman who wrote the ticket, but she's having none of it. So he jumps in the truck, gets Junior to climb onto the back, jumps into the car, gets Junior to jump onto the back of the truck and unrelease the hook. He puts the car in reverse and manages to get the car off. Meanwhile, he sets off. The people, the officer and the tow truck driver, set off chasing him, while poor Junior is hanging on the back of this tow truck. Anyway, he gets away. Tow truck operator ends up crashing the tow truck, flipping on its side, and this sends Junior flying, and then some other cars crash into this, and creates a bit of a pile-up. Buford carries on chasing Bandit, and they head into the Mississippi Fairgrounds during like a stunt show type thing. As Buford's chasing on this racetrack bit, there's some stunt cars coming next to him, and there's a ramp set up to put him on 2 wheels. Buford goes up on 2 wheels, carries on chasing him, the Bandit, and what have you. That's it. Later on that night, Bandit and Dusty stop at this motel, just this really sleazy place, and there's people that are involved in orgies and all sorts of other various sexual shenanigans. So Snowman, I'm going to just call him Snowman from now on because he ain't a bandit, falls asleep in a hammock, and so Dusty puts the fish outside the room. Buford's searching the sauna, the hotel, spots the fish, grabs the fish, and thinks he's seen the fake bandit, we'll call him, in a sauna, goes in, handcuffs him, comes back out. It just turns out to be a muscular woman, and she takes a bit of a shine to Buford and decides to tag along. Well, she has no choice originally because Junior has left the keys for their car, the handcuffs in the car. Anyway, next day, Buford sets off with the shark, and then two of his tires get blown out by the Birdettes. Bandit retakes the fish while Buford's parked up, and as he's sort of getting the fish, he hears Buford giving this speech to Junior about how this is it. I'm done. I can't do this anymore. I'm done. I'm actually going to proper officially retire. And then you just see Fake Bandit set off with the fish. Buford decides, you know what, bugger it, gets in the car, sets off chasing him. They go through a herd of cattle, then they go through a nudist camp, which for some reason Fake Bandit gets out, goes into a boat, Buford chases him, there's a bit of a boat chase, and then they come back in a circle. Fake Bandit gets back in the car, drives off, Buford gets back in his car and sets off. In the meantime, Junior's taking a shine into one of these women at this camp, and then it shows you him driving through a field, and then the Birdettes are setting off explosions around Buford. One of them, you just see a massive explosion, and they think they've got him, and lo and behold, Buford comes out, literally driving the chassis of the car with two seats, the engine, and Junior's holding the lights above his head. And it comes towards the ending, the finish line, and then Bandit sort of slows down and slows right down to the point where Buford gets Junior to steal the fish, and Buford wins the challenge. He parks up round the corner. Buford has what's left of his car there. The Birdettes come over, congratulate him and everything, and then Buford spots the Trans Am, and he's like, goes over, all set to make the arrest. And then this is where it gets really, really weird. Snowman's like really panicking, so oh god, this is it. So he's like, hang on, let me just try this, see if it works. So he turns his head, and then as Buford comes up, he turns around, and it's Burt Reynolds as the Bandit, and this is what Buford's seeing. They have a little bit of a verbal, and Buford's saying, "Oh, I've got you," and he's like, "Oh, I figured you'd give me an head start. We can carry on." He's like, "No, this is it. You're going in." And he's like, "All right." And then he hears Junior mention, "Oh, that's great. When we've done, and we've taken Bandit in, we can go fishing again, Daddy. I'll take you fishing." And this leads back to sort of flashbacks of the last fishing trip. So he looks at the real Bandit, the sort of wavy picture of Burt Reynolds. So I give you 5 minutes head start, and car sets off because they both realise that what good's one without the other. You can't have Wile E. Coyote without Roadrunner, vice versa. You can't have Tom without Jerry, etc. So Trans Am sets off. Buford goes back to his car. The muscular woman throws Junior out of the car and jumps in with Buford. And then all you see is Buford driving off with Junior chasing him, and as he's waving the money, there's bits of money flying everywhere. And then it goes to like a road, like at night time, and you just see Junior running around, still losing money left, right and centre. And then it just goes to the closing credits. Now, as a kid, the first time I saw this, I watched it on TV, and I watched it with my dad, and he told me, he says, it's nothing like the first two, so don't get your hopes up. I hated it as a kid, hated the film, and as an adult, nothing much has changed. Jerry Reed is great as Snowman. He is the Snowman. The first two films, he's brilliant, but he's no Bandit. And I think the whole thing was they must have showed Burt Reynolds the script or whatever, and he just said flat out, "No, I'm having anything to do with that." Won't put his name to it until it right, I'll do a cameo at the end if that's what you want. But this film ruins the entire Smokey the Bandit, name, the franchise, whatever you want to call it. I was sort of like doing a little bit of Google searching, trying to find out why Burt Reynolds wasn't involved in this film, if there was a reason for it. And I did find a little bit of info on Wikipedia. So this is a direct quote from Wikipedia. The film was originally entitled Smokey is the Bandit, and didn't include Jerry Reed in the cast. Apparently, contemporary newspapers referred to the original plans to feature Gleason as both Smokey and the Bandit, and Reed's name does not appear in early promotional materials or newspaper accounts during the film's production. According to some accounts, Jackie Gleason was to play two roles, Sheriff Buford T. Justice and a different version of the Bandit. The original version was shot in October 1982. Reportedly, test audiences reacted really poorly, finding Gleason's two roles confusing, so the studio opted to do reshoots in April 1983. Bandit scenes were shot with Jerry Reed playing the role. Other accounts indicate that the title was more literal, that Gleason was to play only Sheriff Justice, but the character would also fill the role of the Bandit by taking the Enos family's challenge, as Reynolds' character had done in the previous two films. In a teaser trailer for the film billed as Smokey the Bandit, Gleason appears in character as Justice, explaining to the audience that to defeat the Bandit he would adopt the attributes of his prey, becoming my own worst enemy. Publicity still of Gleason apparently shows him in costume as the Bandit. So yeah, I mean, that sounds a bit confusing, a bit crap, but it can't be any worse than the steaming turd that actually got released. This film is bad. I hate it. I'd give 0 out of 5. Avoid it at all costs. If you're new to the Smoking the Bandits, if you've watched the first two, don't watch this, because it will just shit all over everything that you've watched so far and enjoyed. Anybody out there who actually enjoys this one, tell me why, please, because I must be missing something, and I will rewatch it until I find out what it is that you enjoy about this film. But yeah, it's a terrible film, absolutely rubbish. Don't rate it at all. I would actually like to see the Jackie Gleason version where he plays the Bandit. I'd love to be able to track that down and watch that. But yeah, that'll do it for this video, guys. And like I said, it wasn't one I wanted to review, but if you're doing a trilogy, you've got to do the third part. So yeah, that'll do it, guys. Hope you've enjoyed the video, despite the fact that it's a pretty poor film. As always, thank you for taking the time to watch. For those of you subscribed, thank you very much. It means a lot. And as always, take care of yourselves, and I'll see you later. Bye for now.